Today on Suncoast View, what should come first, the millennials or the jobs? We talk about how to bridge the employment gap here on the Suncoast.
A top fashion designer creates clothes right here on the Suncoast, but her talents go beyond design. Sigrid Olsen is also a talented artist, and she's here to show off her skills.
And Selby Gardens is renowned for its orchids. Today we have some expert tips on how to grow beautiful ones in our yards. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show and welcome back to Nikki Logan Curran. Great to see you with us today.
Thank you.
You're spoiling us by giving us a little wine to start, but it's for a very good reason.
It's almost happy hour, so that's okay.
That's enough reason for us. But tell us about your work with the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, this weekend is the Champions for Children, which used to be called the Dreammakers Ball, and it's their annual gala, and we're honoring this year Dr. Gusson and his wife Patricia, and they own Villa Maria Winery.
Oh, wow.
So they'll be serving all of their wines at the dinner, and Chef Paul Madison is catering it, and it's going to be really a beautiful event. It's one of my favorite events of the year.
That's wonderful. And Beth and I were just commenting how much we like the wine. I had no idea that was the reason, because it was theirs.
Yeah, we just thought we were going to drink wine today.
I do want to ask you about the Boys and Girls Club. For those who aren't aware, let's talk a little bit about what they do and then also why it means so much to you.
Yes.
Well, for me personally, I've been involved. I think I was trying to figure this morning. I think this is my 10th year working with this event. But when I first moved here, I had a small business. I had a daughter in preschool who the next year in kindergarten went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I needed them. I needed a place to send her after school. All the after school programs were either full or out of my price range, and they took her in. She had art classes and dance lessons, and not to mention the academic support and the mentorship. And that's why, once you're able to sort of get on the other side of that, how important it is to really go back and help out. And I've been with them ever since as a receiver and a giver, so it feels good to come full circle.
It's great that you didn't forget.
No, I didn't forget. I love them. They have an awesome team, and they are relentless at how committed they are to these kids. So.
And as a mom, to have that kind of help, it's priceless. Yeah. So I love that you're able to then give back to them and spread the word, because it's such an important thing that they do for everyone. Well, good, and thank you for sharing the wine.
Yes, thank you.
Thumbs up to the winemaker.
For sure.
We love them. All right, we have another friend in the kitchen today, Paulette, of course, back from Spice and Tea Exchange. Welcome back. Tell us what we're making today.
We're going to do just a little twist to your traditional Thanksgiving sides. So we're going to do a Woodsman's rice and kale salad. We have some Brussels sprouts in paradise, we call it, with the grains of paradise, and then a leek and spinach stuffed mushrooms.
How creative. Okay, I love this. We're going to get all sorts of great ideas. Linda, I know you're entertaining a boatload, so take some notes. Take some notes. Also, we want to offer a big congratulations to Selby Botanical Gardens. They have once again achieved accreditation by the American Alliance of Museums. That is a big deal. That is the highest national recognition that is awarded to museums, and no doubt their orchid displays and programs have a lot to do with that. We're going to talk more about the orchids coming up later in the show, but what an honor. They have to reapply every 10 years, and so it was granted in 2007 and then reestablished this year.
And they've done so many new things, so many glamorous new things.
And also a lot of stuff for kids, though. I think they've really brought in a demographic, that wasn't really there 10 years ago. It's a place to hang out with your family, and everything from fireworks to
Christmas.
We
go to their Christmas displays.
I love the Christmas.
I mean, but you hear so often that museums are struggling, and to see that ours not only is thriving, but is world renowned.
Yeah, absolutely. And having an outdoor museum is such an incredible gem here on the Suncoast. So congrats to them. We're going to talk about orchids coming up later in the show. It is time for our first hot topic, the hiring gap on the Suncoast. Are there no jobs, or is there no one to hire? Hundreds of Suncoast college students and dozens of local employers will come together tonight in an event to try and change the perception that there aren't enough competitive jobs in our area. So this event is called Mind the Gap. Students bring resumes, and the execs explain what kind of workers they need to kind of bridge that gap between what businesses need and what students need to stay in our area. What do you think about this?
I love the idea. I mean, you always hear about different events where they're hiring and they're having problems finding people to fill those positions. So I feel like this is a way to let people know what kind of positions are there, what they need to get those positions, and I like the idea a lot.
And to talk to each other.
Yes.
Employer and employee talk to each other. What do I need to do? What will I be doing on this job?
Because the kids think they're not wanted here, from what I hear from the 20-somethings. Nikki, what do you hear? You work with a lot of young kids.
I do, and I think we've price gouged them out of housing, and I feel like that's always the underlying conversations, which we could probably have a whole show just on that topic. But, you know, we're inching them further and further out of the city and out of the, you know, the core of downtown, and then what? It's not worth, the reason you want to live here is you want to be involved and you want to be surrounded by walkability, and that's something that I think needs to be addressed in sort of the bigger picture of why we aren't retaining young millennials.
And they need good jobs that can give them a living wage.
I mean, and I think that's a balance, because when I got out of college, I thought that I was going to make $100,000 right off bat.
Me too.
And I think that same mentality is what
Yes.
I think that same mentality is what the millennials have. You feel like you've done so much to get through college, so you automatically think that those jobs are going to be high paid, and the reality is they're not. So once you get out and you're looking for a job and someone tells you, okay, we're going to give you $30,000, you're like, wait a minute, I can't live off $30,000.
Yes.
So you
I'm
get
a
a roommate,
college
right?
graduate.
Well,
I mean, think about New York. You lived in New York.
Yeah, but New York and Sarasota are different. In New York, it's almost the culture to have roommates. Sarasota, it's not.
But maybe we should think about that a little more, because I think you're right. At 21 years old, I mean, I lived in a tiny little town, so rent wasn't a big deal. But so this is a bigger area, a more sophisticated area. It is expensive to live here. So we may have to help them cope, and maybe it's not. I mean, you can only drop housing so much, right? I mean, it's still it is what it is per square foot.
No, I mean, I feel like all communities should have a variety of housing. You should have those for those who cannot, don't make the $100,000, and those who do make the $100,000, and they can be intermingled. You don't have to have all the rich people in one area and all the poor people in one area. And I think that's what we do here. We segregate the community based on wealth, and there's better ways to do that. You shouldn't have to go all the way to across the bridge to be able to,
or even out east. That's where people are landing, way out east.
I think one thing they're looking for too, they don't mind making less money if they know they have a future in that company.
Right.
So
They're
they'll
really
start at 30
invested.
if there is 100,000 out there somewhere and work harder. So they need to look at a job that has a future that they can
Well,
look,
having
they
the
can work
conversation is certainly the best way to get some progress, so it's good that they're
starting.
doing that. Exactly. Are you familiar with the GroupMe app? It's actually designed for collaboration. It's kind of similar to like a big group text. It's actually used all the time in classroom settings right now, but more than 80 Ohio State students are accused of cheating after using GroupMe to share answers on assignments. The school says the rules are the same whether it's in person or electronic. Now, this has to be a massive problem with today's technology. And do other students, when they're in a group app like that, get trapped if others are sharing and others are not? So GroupMe is used in like everything I'm involved in, from the sports teams to my kids talking about classroom with it. Nikki, I'm sure you've run into it too.
Everything from soccer to classrooms.
Right,
Yeah.
and they do share stuff on it.
I mean, but when you send the message, you can't not read it.
So should everybody in an app get in trouble? And they encourage these kids to interact. Remember how we used to have to go to meetings? You'd have to find a time where you could all meet at the library in college. Now you group meet. You don't have to go out and meet each other. But then they're flying all that information around. It's like when we used to share answers around the table, now they're sharing them digitally. Is it any different?
Not really. It's just the way it is today. I remember people would drop notes when I was in the classroom, and somebody else would pick up the trash, and there would be the answer.
it was so fun.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So it's just gotten a little more modern.
Yeah, I mean, I think cheating is cheating, regardless of what. You just evolve the way you do it.
And cheating, sharing, there's ways of looking at it. Who's doing the work?
Cheating is cheating.
It's cheating. If you're getting the
cheating.
answer to the test, it's a cheat. You're cheating.
You can
I mean,
still
so you just
get
in
everything you
trouble.
want on your phone. I mean, I feel like this is the reality that we haven't all really woken up to. Like not soon, but eventually we're just going to pick up and whatever we need to know is right there.
Yeah.
Like we're,
You can even get a husband on an app.
probably.
Pretty much already can.
You can.
Yeah.
But, we're slowly inching into that. You don't have to work for yourself for anything. Everything is at your fingertips.
But as I tell my kids, you still have to take the test yourself.
You
still have to take the test.
You can take every shortcut you want. You aren't learning anything.
And I think that's the consequence of it, because at the end of the day, when you don't have the ability to use the group chat and you don't know the answer, then that's your fault.
Right. No,
so
it's true.
it's just like regular cheating. There's one point where you're going to have to learn.
And maybe it's a harder lesson for today's kids because they have the sharing much easier than we ever did, but they still have to learn
We still keep a dictionary and an encyclopedia, and it infuriates our 9-year-old.
I have them on my desk.
Speaking of technology, the FDA has approved the first drug in the U.S. with a digital ingestion tracking system. It was created to ensure that patients with mental disorders actually take the medicine that's prescribed to them. So this works by the pill actually sending a message from a sensor. Yes, it's ingestible, it is safe, to a wearable patch. That patch then sends data to a smartphone app that can be accessed by doctors or family members. So essentially you're being tracked by your pill. I know what Bo Beth thinks about this.
Okay, so this is off topic, but over the weekend I saw the movie Split. The guy was crazy and had different, like, I think 23 personalities, and he wasn't taking his medication. And the movie scared me to death. And, you know, normally I'm one of those people that think that, you know, I don't like anything tracking me, anything digital, but that guy was crazy. 23 people living inside of him, and all these different personalities, and all of these things could have been stopped if he had taken his medication.
So there's the crux of this.
That's got to be such an isolated scenario.
Granted, it was a movie.
Like, we had mental illness isn't isolated. Think about
No, I'm talking about that
movie.
particular.
But that's the point. The mental illness isn't being treated, so would this help?
Yeah, G. Pierce Wood, all the
But you still can't force it down a person's throat. Even if you're getting a signal saying, hey, you haven't taken the medication, that person still has to.
But what if it's your dad and you can call your dad and be like, Dad, you have not taken your pill today. You have got to take that pill.
Dad
or
could
if
still
you have
say
a mentally ill child. And
Right.
a lot of parents are dealing with that.
I mean, granted, again, that movie scared the daylights out of me, but at the same time, you know, once you open the window to one sort of tracking, it just makes another type of tracking easier.
To me, this brought the thought of all the horrible tragedies that have happened this year and how many of them were described with people who were suffering from mental illness. And so much of that can be treated. Yes, you still have to swallow the pill. Yes, there has to be some desire to be helped.
Mental hospitals closed in Florida maybe 10 years ago. Those people were just thrown out on the street. A lot are still homeless. If they had their meds, they would be able to live a good life.
And at least this way you know if you're taking your meds. Or even on a different level, what if your family's in a care center or your elderly parent is living alone and you want to know that they're taking their meds? You know, maybe we'll be able to track that with meds.
I can't get into it yet.
We've scared everybody. Well, the FDA approved it, so we'll see where it goes from here. A dog shelter in Orlando has a creative way to showcase their pups. They're sorted into 4 categories, inspired by the Hogwarts houses from Harry Potter. So just as the sorting hat did, staff divides the adoptable dogs up based on characteristics, actually rather than breeds. There are Griffin dogs, Raven Paws, Hufflepuffs, and here's my favorite, Slobberins. It is meant to address breed discrimination, which is actually a serious problem in shelter adoptions. Aww. How creative is that?
Because pit bulls never get adopted.
And some of them are just fine.
Wonderful personalities.
Exactly.
And you might see them in different schools, the pit bulls.
Because based on their personality characteristic rather than the breed.
Yeah, so, I like that.
Well, anything that gets shelter dogs adopted, so very fun.
As long as you don't give them a pill that tracks them.
Okay, nobody liked that. I knew that was going to be an issue. We're going to check out our happy hour forecast when we come back. Sigrid Olsen is here to talk about things you can design at home.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather forecast for this afternoon. We're looking for nice weather through this evening. No real threat of any significant problems there. The clouds are well down to our south. Currently, looking out at Lakewood Ranch, we have sunny to mostly sunny skies, 80 degrees, comfortable dew point at 64, and winds out of the northwest at 9. Now, the pressure has been slipping a little bit down to 29.93 inches, but we're still under the influence of a high pressure system, and no big storm systems headed our way anytime soon. Temperatures upper 70s to low 80s across the region. 83 now in Punta Gorda, 1 degree cooler. In Northport at 82. Braden, you're at 81 degrees. And 74 in the Gulf of Mexico. That water temperature still at 74 degrees. The evening planner, as I said, looks good. Just a little bit cooler than it has been the past couple of nights as a result of that northerly wind flow at 64 degrees at 11 o'clock. With no threat of any rainfall. Now, there is a stronger cold front headed our way. We'll talk about that cold front coming up today at 5. See you then.
an internationally renowned fashion designer, lives and creates right here on the Suncoast. Sigrid Olsen is best known for her signature women's fashions, but she is also a very talented artist. And today she is here to teach us about gratitude boxes. Now, that sounds great for Thanksgiving. If only I knew what a gratitude box was.
Well, I
Sigrid.
just made it up.
Oh, good, good.
Especially because Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I wanted to do something a little bit more meaningful than just stamping on paper or whatever. So we do these boxes when I take women on retreats, and we paint the box, we stamp on it, which is what we're going to do today. But today, in particular, we're going to take this little slip of paper.
Do you mind if I hold one?
No,
So
please,
that way
and
we
we
can
can
actually see
show.
what it is?
This one is from Joshua Tree. This one is from Tulum.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're really
oh, they're
pretty.
beautiful.
And they open up.
They open up.
Oh, wow.
And you write on this paper?
So what we're going to do today is, and it's a kind of, it could be a fun thing to do with your family
Yes.
on the holiday, is we're going to decorate our boxes, and you get to keep them. And you'll have this box in your possession every time you think you need to be reminded of something that you're grateful for. You write it on a slip of paper and you put it in a box. And then maybe you're having a really rough week or a rough day, and you think, I can't think of one thing I'm grateful for. You open up your box, and it reminds you all the wonderful things
Things
in
are
your
good.
life.
Oh,
Yeah, it's okay.
Not that bad.
And I need it particularly.
It would be
to-
nice just to keep this on your dining room table and then a little container with the paper. So even when like other people are over or your family
Yeah.
can jot in and just keep it together.
I'm thinking for Thanksgiving dinner, I'll have the children do this.
Yeah.
Because that would be great for them to think of what they're really
I think it's
thankful
always
for.
nice to associate it with a creative endeavor instead of just like going around the table and people
Right,
talking.
right.
Because I think it breaks the ice a little bit.
And then you
So-
remember later on.
Yeah.
So we're going to put things we're thankful for in our boxes.
Yeah, well, you're going to write it down. We have more slips if you have more than two. I just gave each of you two.
All right.
But the idea is that you keep this box, and you every day something might occur to you, or like, wow, I'm so grateful for
Whatever
my
it is.
garden, or my neighbor came over and offered me something. I can't think. I'm not good on.
On the fly,
Orchids.
don't worry, we
On the
understand.
fly.
So we
Well,
get
no,
the concept.
orchids from Selby Gardens. Yeah. So then you just write it down, put it in there, and it's really a way to remind us that we all have something to be grateful for, no matter
Yes.
how bad things are. Our lives are filled with gifts and treasures.
Well, you know,
I'm
one thing
grateful that I get to sit beside you, a world-renowned fashion designer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I'm grateful
ma'am.
I get to design clothes.
Speaking of,
Show us how to do the boxes.
All right, so first of all, I've painted the boxes a little bit. The ones that I'm showing you here are more colorful.
Okay.
But ours are just kind of one color. And then you'd pick a stamp. I'm going to pick this cute little leaf stamp.
okay.
And you designed the stamps. I
I-
do want to point that out because
Yeah.
these are hand carved.
They're all
by
hand
Sigrid.
carved,
That's
yeah.
so cool.
And then
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just decorate the outside of your box with the stamp or the top of it. Like I'm going to put one of these on each side. I need a darker color.
And I think what really comes to mind for me is when I look at the colors, like of the things you make and your painting and all that. It's like looking at your
Oh, look
clothes.
how pretty hers is.
Yeah, it's just a little.
She makes it
it's
look so
It's
easy.
amazing. Oh, well, you always have to think out of the
Oh.
box, don't you?
Nikki, very creative.
Yes.
What are you doing?
How did you do that?
She's going
dipping
crazy
the
over
edges.
there.
Hey, this is fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I think
So why did you come here to live and to design? I know that's a very personal question,
No,
but why did you choose the Suncoast?
I had this moment where I thought I can live anywhere I want because I'm working out of my home. I don't have to be in an office every day. And I want to be warm, but I want to be in a place that has some culture and cool people and beautiful scenery. Like this is at the Yacht Club in Sarasota.
And where else but Sarasota?
Yeah, and I went all over the place and looked at different areas, especially in Florida because of the weather, and Sarasota just was my first choice.
Oh.
I mean, I really chose to live here out of the blue, which I think
Oh,
a lot of
wow.
people come because I know a lot of people have come because their parents are aging and they come to take care of them and then they fall in love with it and stay here. But I don't know, I just love everything about it.
So you still go on retreats, though. I understand that's a very big thing in your life.
Yes. I actually, back in 2008, I was on the beach in Tulum, Mexico, and decided that I wanted to connect with my customers in a different way, not just sell them clothes, but be able to sell them or offer them an experience that would be transformational. So, but I'm not a yoga teacher. In Tulum, there are a lot of yoga retreats that go on, and I don't teach yoga, but my sister does. So my sister and I decided to do this together.
I didn't know you did that with your sister.
Yeah,
I love that.
She teaches the yoga, and I also have my dear friend Jamie Coffey, who's here in Sarasota, who teaches yoga. So the two of them teach yoga, and I teach these art workshops.
Oh, this would be such fun.
Yeah,
what a
and
great
every
combo.
day there's a different theme. There might be gratitude. There's a community theme, which actually we use these boxes for too. And each person at the end of the retreat writes one thing on a piece of paper that they admire or are inspired by another person. So
Okay.
then you have your little box, and everybody puts their word in your box. So at the end, you open it up, and you've got 15 or however many people are there that are all the things that they said that are nice about you. So if you're feeling
that's
insecure,
amazing.
you can open that up and feel like, wow, I really truly am recognized and loved.
I love
Let's
this
read
idea.
some of our things we're grateful for.
Oh, we have to share?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get brownie points for mine. I'll go first.
Okay.
I did say I am grateful for my husband's patience.
Oh.
Because I do actually require a fair amount. I know that's shocking to all of you. So I am grateful for that.
Babette?
Are you sharing?
I have one. I'm grateful for being loved.
Oh,
Yes.
we love you.
Hi.
Well, I'm grateful for my family, and almost all of them are going to be here next week. So
Let's
I
see if
may
you're
have
still
to open
grateful.
this up and look several times.
There's a backside of that in case you got to retract that
So
statement.
what are you grateful for?
I put that I'm grateful for the relationship I have with my daughter Zoe, because she's leaving for college, and I never thought I would be an emotional wreck, but apparently
You are.
that lady-
We're not going there.
not going.
We're not going there.
She's a nice kid.
So what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for this community, to be honest. You know, to come to a new place and suddenly feel like I belong somewhere and all these wonderful people. I have really been so happy to be here in Sarasota.
Oh, we love you and your clothes. What wonderful
thank
clothes
you.
you have.
Yeah.
You can find out more about her fashions and where you can get them. Dillard's is one place, and about her art and her retreat if you go to her website. And coming up next, a familiar face returns to Sounds of the Suncoast.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055. Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Bradenton native and singer Matt Walden has made a name for himself here on the Suncoast and on iTunes, where his first original album reached top 10 status. Matt is here to sing with us for Sounds of the Suncoast with his original song, Breathe. Take it away, Matt.
I haven't found a successful way to separate my mind at night versus the day. Versus the day. The only way I'll get through this is with your kiss. The only thing that takes my pain away. They keep telling me to breathe, but none of them can see what it's like inside my head. I can't help but ask myself, would anything change if I were dead? I'm nervous, cause maybe they won't like what they see. Every time I look in the mirror, it's always something else that's staring back at me. I keep struggling with these thoughts. Depression, please won't you stop? I just wanna stay alive so one day I can hear my kids call me Pops. I'm not a failure, nor am I who I once was. And I can feel the grace in the day, and that's God's way of saying we're okay. And I know today might seem like the worst, but if you think about it, you could be in a hearse. So take these words I have well rehearsed. Listen when I say this verse, this pain is real and I know it hurts, but music saves, so know your worth. Don't be like me, don't be like me, don't be like me in any way. Don't turn the page on this brand new day. Hope it's trying to find its way in. So just breathe like we used to, when they all knew how much I loved you. So just breathe like we used to, when they all knew how much I loved you.
Beautiful.
Soulful. I love that. So last time you were here, Matt, you had just released a single.
Yeah.
All right, brag on yourself. How did we want to hear it? How did that all go?
Yo, so actually, some of the people at Spotify picked it up, and right now it's like 165,000 plays, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to be picked up on Spotify.
Cool.
That's a really
So,
big deal. And there's
yeah.
a big concert coming up at SCF this week.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Yeah, tell us about your role in that.
Yeah, so the Western Suns had reached out to the State College of Florida, and they planned a show, and then they asked me to be on the bill. And so we're going to be kind of like co-headlining the show. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good event. It's this Saturday, 7:30 is when it starts. Tickets are like $20, I think.
And you know what? You can find all that out online.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk more about it this week on the show, but you can find Matt online, which has great links to all his music. Easy to stream, easy to find, and lots of great stuff out there. So be sure to check out mattwaldenmusic.com. Coming up next, Selby Botanical Gardens is here. We're going to talk about the Orchid Show, but first, we want to hear more. Matt, will you sing us out?
Yes. I got you. All right. I wanna be with you, baby. I wanna be with you, hey. So baby, how you insecure?
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and co-insurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-855-395-9803. That's 1-855-395-9803 now.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
And for a limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59. Ceramic tile 99 cents. And 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents. But these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check in with Paulette from Spice and Tea Exchange. And Paulette, you had all these creative ideas. Sounds like this is a really great way to kind of spice up the old turkey main course.
Yeah, we're going to do some different things. We're going to work with a woodsman's rice, which is a rice and it has dried mushrooms and lentils. We're going to work with our mushroom paradise, black truffle salt, which everyone loves. Yeah, so we have some different sides coming up soon.
So even if the turkey seems boring, you can make it exciting with sides.
Sure.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Bo Beth?
Well, you may not know this, but Selby Botanical Gardens has one of the best collection of orchids in the world. In fact, it's one of the main plant species their botanists study. And every year, the Orchid Show celebrates their amazing array of orchids. That's why Angel Lara, the director of the Glass House Collection, is here to tell us all about orchids and the array of them. And you're going to give us some basic tips, and I really need it because this is my orchid.
It's beautiful.
You think it's beautiful?
Is it dead?
It's not dead.
Was.
It's a little wilty, just a little on the dry side.
Just a little?
Yeah,
But she has a little growth down here.
Yeah, it looks like, okay, just right there.
Well, the new growth is from the top, so you'll get apical growth will come out of here. So
it's not dead?
No, there's a new leaf coming out.
All right, so I can bring this back.
I'll give you a few hints on that. We could definitely bring
Despite
that.
this.
Despite
that.
And that's
the
just
top.
the flowering component of it, which is normal. It's supposed to senesce and it's supposed to die, and this is a plant. So I think, you know, it's just how I think we're doing good.
Leave that part alone.
Well, we're supposed to remove that.
I'm not sure.
Sure, and so when we
as you can see, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
so I need the basic tips that you can give anything.
It does look sad, though, I will say.
It is, well, and that is one of those characteristics of a wilty plant, is that sad, I'm not very happy look. Which is what we have right here. It's like a pleated.
It's so unhappy.
Sure.
It's okay, sweetie pie.
With orchid diversity, it's so difficult to know exactly how much to water each individual orchid. There's so many of them, over 25,000 species.
There's 25,000
over
species?
25,000 species, over 300,000 hybrids.
Wow.
So like, you can imagine this can come in like thousands of colors, thousands of sizes, thousands of varieties.
So that's a lot of, you know, 25,000. I can't even imagine. So each of them have different specification of what you need to put in it, and
for the most part, right. And so you have to know the monster that you're growing, in a sense, right? So there are so many that the common types of orchids is what's available to us, and that we can sort of like hone it into 5 genera. Those common plants that we see at the box stores.
All right, so tell me what tips I need to bring this back or keep another one alive.
And let's start with hers, because you said it needs water.
It needs water.
So do we just give it a big old drink?
You can, but I'll show you something in that pot. And a lot of times when we receive these orchids or like we purchase them, they are like not like set in like the growing conditions that we want to grow them in. And so a lot of times there's no drain hole, right? So we need that water when you're like, and they're in another pot, right? So now we have a little pot within a bigger pot that has no drain hole. So like when it's in bloom, we enjoy it, and we have it in our kitchens or we have it in our lanais, and we're having a good time with them. Once they go out of bloom, like you mentioned, we're supposed to remove this stuff. So like the little like hair clip, it's nice for your hair, it's nice for your beard, but it's definitely, you know, it's not for like growing.
What about air circulation? Does it need to be in a certain environment? Oh, he's killing it even more.
There goes your flower.
He's pruning.
I love doing that, and this, you know, it's one of those nonverbal conversations. Like we need to remove the flowering spikes so that the orchid can begin to grow again. And it's one of those, you know, ways to communicate with an orchid. I know, but it's dead already. It used to be very pretty, I'm
So
sure.
here's my question. This lives on her desk in an office. Do they need more air than that?
They do need a little more air. The interesting part about these Phalaenopsis orchids, and these are like the moth orchids that you see in front of you, and they're more common orchids, is that they are highly like adaptable to indoor use.
Oh,
and so they're great houseplants, sure.
Yeah, so
and
it wasn't your fault.
It wasn't your fault.
So,
I think what you need is just a little more water.
Okay.
You know, it's just a little
what
more
about
water.
repotting? Because you brought all
Sure.
these things, and you mentioned earlier that sometimes they come in one container, then there's another container.
Right, and we see that a lot in orchid repotting classes, and right, all that needs is a little more water. What we notice about orchids right away.
I'm going to add a gallon today.
Sure. What we notice about orchids right away is that one, like they don't come in the soil that we're used to. But the plants coming in, they're epiphytes, so they're plants that live on top of tree canopies, and so they're not terrestrials.
So
right?
they don't grow in dirt.
They don't grow in dirt or soil, right? So they grow in what we call a media or medium substrate, which is usually a bark-based mix, which is a tree-based mix, right? Yeah. So that's sponge rock, which is inert. It's supposed to add like drainage, and one of the like the best parts about like these mediums is that like exactly that air circulation, that drainage that you're getting up in the tree canopies, we're pretty much recreating it like in a pot. And the other thing that we notice is its root system. And you know, a lot of us that have repotted like other plants before,
Look at that.
like these are very different roots, right?
That's
so they're
crazy.
thick, they're large and succulent.
like
and
lima
so
beans.
they're not edible, but
Do not eat them.
do not eat them. But they are like showcasing what like an orchid has is a lot of characteristics of retention of water.
So that would make me think that they're kind of hardy when you look at that root system.
Yeah.
They have that reputation.
And
of
they
being
are
so
hardy.
finicky.
I mean, if you're like hanging out like in a desk for months and months and months without water, and you're alive still, that's pretty
That's pretty
tough.
hard, yeah.
That's pretty tough.
That's been months.
So they're slow and dying.
But I also hear that you can't really put it out in direct sun.
They do not like the full sun. They are canopy plants, so they do live within like the tree canopy. So that's shady under there. It is high, and so there's a lot of air circulation. The one common mistake that we do that you didn't do was we overwater these things. So they're like on top of trees. They're like anchored or like living or perched on these branches, and so like if it does get rainwater, it drains pretty fast, right? So they do need water.
Do you water them?
Sure. So for an indoor plant, like say like this Phalaenopsis or like the moth orchid, like once a week is more than enough.
I like that.
You know, and like going under.
Yeah, how much? Because I need directions.
Sure. So this is easy. This is very easy. So if you put it under your sink or if you have a watering can, when the water begins to come out of the bottom, you're done.
So it's got to have that hole.
It has to have those like drain holes, and orchid pots are geared to that. You can see like the clay slatted pots. There's a lot of drainage there, and that is important.
A lot of holes, yes.
I'm starting to realize that none of my plants have that, so maybe that's the reason why all of them have died.
This is what your plant needs.
All right, well, I want to get you guys the information that you need because the Orchid Show is coming up. The Orchid Show is going to be at Selby Botanical Garden through November 26th. It's a great family fun event for the weekend and the holidays, so you want to visit that. And it's going to have a bunch of unique things for everybody to see. And next, when we come back, we're going to avoid basic holiday decorating. We'll be right back.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Relion group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Relion group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what we're working on now for 5 o'clock. The city of Venice takes another step toward banning shark fishing from the Venice Pier. Why some anglers don't believe a ban will make a difference. Plus, the Suncoast tradition wraps up for the year. We'll take a look at Siesta Beach just hours after the end of the Crystal Classic. Let's get a check on the weather now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Scott. Right now we're looking at high pressure dominating the weather now over Georgia. This high pressure ridge is rather strong. There's a little bit of a disturbance down to the east of us. We're kind of trapped in between, giving us some breezy conditions here. Those breezy conditions will again stick around tomorrow too. We are looking at small craft advisories in effect through tonight and tomorrow morning at least, and more than likely will be extended. Currently, we have some sunshine. Temperatures are pretty mild, 80 degrees. Dew point comfortable at 64. And winds are out of the north-northwest. More in your forecast at 5. See you then.
The ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
It's beginning to look a lot like the holidays. Stores everywhere are already decked out in red and green, but you don't have to go traditional for your own holiday decorating. Diane Creasy, owner of Epic Home Decor at Lakewood Ranch, is here with some unique holiday home looks. Welcome back, Diane.
Thank you.
And I love the fact that we're not decked out in that kitschy red, green foil look that you see so much of this time of year. You've really gone unique.
Yes, it's all about like branching out and just having some pieces that, as you say, are not a cliche, you know, something that's different that you can decorate with your other things in the home and just have a little sparkle.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the things you've brought. And since Thanksgiving is next week, you're going to start with something that would help us for our entertaining for that holiday.
Yes. Nikki, can you help me out with this wonderful tiger, which is actually a gravy boat?
Oh, my goodness.
He's so adorable.
Or got a tiger by the tail.
That's it. That's it. Or he could be, as you suggested, you could put
punch bowl or
sangria,
something.
punch bowl,
sure.
nuts, whatever, soup to nuts.
That is so cute
for Thanksgiving.
It is, and I love the fact that it's so unique. You don't actually expect it.
Right, we were shocked when we pulled out the ladle, so that's very fun. All right, now let's talk about the decanter.
Okay, this decanter can be obviously for any holiday, but just something different that you put out on your table where, you know, people are starting to mingle, they just arrive at a party for Thanksgiving or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's, you know, have a holiday toast, and it's just something that's fun.
You can grab this, you can grab a glass and go sit down and have a great time.
That's it. That's
Take that right on with you. Okay, well, of course, traditional holiday tree decorating always involves some great ornaments. Tell us about the style that you have there.
Well, I wanted to do something different. Again, not the red, green typical, but took this little white tree, popped them into a vase. You know, you can get creative and do all kinds of things with elements that you already have. And so bought a little white tree, popped them into the vase, and then I wanted to put these old world Christmas ornaments on them, and you can see they're just so fun and whimsical. There's an alligator, there's a sea turtle, there's a Santa playing bagpipes, and Nikki
has a really cool one. What is that,
This
Nikki?
is Stephanie and I are duking it out for this one after the show. It's a beautiful little Airstream trailer, complete with like already decorated Christmas lights.
So great theme ideas for people. I love
They're
that.
nice little presents.
Yes, great little gifts for people that like Airstreams.
Now let's talk about the
mermaids.
stockings, because you can buy stockings anywhere, but not like this.
Not these.
Look at these
stockings. These stockings have little elf toes, and I designed them with harlequin and beads, again, in a little coastal look, not your traditional poinsettia type things. So I had a lady named, a wonderful, talented artist, Pam Kerb. She's in Minnesota. She sews all these lovely things for me, and now you can see that it's a tradition not to put the name on the stocking, but you put the picture in the stocking.
What a good idea.
Oh, because you can change it more often.
Exactly. So ex-boyfriend out, new boyfriend
That's right.
in.
Don't monogram.
So
Those are hard to change.
If you want to make the, stocking, then, you better be good.
I love that, because it's definitely very upscale and very sophisticated.
Right, and when you have guests, you can put their pictures in.
That looks great.
That's true.
Quick look at our friend Mr. Elf. Again, a very classy way to keep, the fun in Christmas, but still not be too over the top red and green.
And I like this because you can actually change the shape of him, and we actually made him like move and,
Well, Bobette made him into a party elf because he's holding these little shot glasses. Tell us about your friend the octopus.
So the octopus is a little shot glass, so you can play little games, fun games when you're having holiday people over, and you can pose the elf, you can hang him from the chandelier. He moves around all night.
I love elf on a show. This is the adult version on a show. We like this because the other one will make me crazy. All right, we talked about the gorgeous stockings. I am in awe of this tree skirt.
Again, sewn by Pam Kerb. And I designed it with a harlequin theme, so that's the black and white.
And it's reversible.
It is.
Yes. That is stunning. Again, just what a great
what
way
I love
to
about
elevate.
this, I feel like it's so generic enough that it can just blend with any other decoration and any other idea you have.
Very sophisticated.
Yeah, so nice to see the holiday elevated a little bit. And then the pillows in front, that reminds me of Grandma's needlepoint. I love that is
But
back.
in a new generation kind of twist.
Exactly,
The
they're
little
gorgeous.
Woody with the dog in it, the truck. The Christmas tree on the Woody.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Absolutely adorable.
Little ski bum pillow.
Wonderful holiday decorating ideas, and definitely the unexpected, which is so fun to mix into your own decor. You can find Epic Home Decor in the San Marco Plaza in Lakewood Ranch, or also on their website. Coming up next, a celebrity headlining a Suncoast staple. Wait till you tell you who's coming.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. New College says their recent iguana problem isn't getting any better. We'll tell you what school officials and others in the area are doing to try and stop these wild colonies from popping up around Sarasota. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We continue to watch another frontal boundary approaches for the weekend. That one will significantly lower temperatures.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins.
To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Hey, mark your calendars. Big news. Jason Derulo will be the headliner of the 2018 Firefly Gala. This benefits the 40 Carats Family Center. They announced this at Wine, Women, and Shoes on Friday. It is April 21st. And Firefly known for some big headliners, Flo Rida, Joan Jett, the Go-Go's. So Jason Derulo coming April 21st. Right now, we're coming to the kitchen with Spice and Tea Exchange.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert weather app now.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. A fourth body found in a Tampa neighborhood, how it may be linked to 3 other recent killings in the city, and the mystery that still surrounds it. And taking a quick look at your First Alert traffic right now, looks like there is some congestion throughout downtown Sarasota as you're heading across the bridges as well. And over towards Siesta Key, seeing some congestion at this hour. Now let's get a check on our First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks. Right now, Jacqueline, high pressure dominating the weather over the southeast United States. This high pressure ridge is creating a strong pressure gradient to an area of low pressure to the east of us. That's creating breezy conditions. In fact, there is a small craft advisory in effect now for our coastal waters. You'll see that right there covering much of the coast of Florida, and that is in effect through tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
I heard about the Dettoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dettoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dettoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Coming up Wednesday at 4 on Suncoast View, the Queen of Suncoast Philanthropy stops by to share her joy in giving. We'll sit down with Betty Schoenbaum and celebrate her 100th birthday and learn about all the lives she has touched. Ringling College students stop by to talk about their latest short films. Plus, we knock out Workout Wednesday with Title Boxing Club, and Chef Judy has restaurant Thanksgiving options.
And welcome back. We're in the kitchen right now with Paulette from the Spice and Tea Exchange, and we're making a lot of different side dishes that we can spice up our holidays with, right?
Yes, yeah, so something a little bit different than your normal ordinary sides. Nikki and Linda are gonna start. We've already started to saute the spinach and leeks. We've added some chili lime salt, our signature spice, and mushroom paradise blend. So Nikki, if you would add, this is some pancetta.
All of it?
Oh yeah, all of it.
Why not?
All of it.
I was hoping you'd say yes.
And then we have some goat cheese as well.
Oh, all of that too, please?
Yep, absolutely.
Or save me some on a spoon.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix all of that together, and then Nikki's going to stuff the mushrooms with it. Oh. Linda has some interesting products that are gonna go on the very top crust layer of the mushrooms, which she has our signature spice blend. So Linda, if you want to mix the olive oil in with the breadcrumbs, and then we
breadcrumbs.
Yes.
Okay. And then
and
what
then
is this?
That is our Romano cheese powder.
Oh, all
so
of
you
it.
can toss that. Yes, all of it.
All of it. Romano cheese powder.
Really nice to use on popcorn, different dishes when you don't have cheese or
yeah.
you want the dried powder.
And
that's
what
our
is this one?
signature blend.
This is your signature blend.
Yes, so that has truffle salt, it has different mushrooms, tomato powder.
You're waiting for me?
Is that the blend that Chef Paul Madison and Chef Chris Cavelli use at their dinner?
The mushroom paradise, which we've already asked. This is for their truffle dinner that they use this Saturday, which is sold out. Yes.
You have a lot of chefs using your products.
We do.
Yeah, that's really special.
We do.
That's
it's
a real
really
compliment.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys start stuffing those,
okay.
So Beth, you're gonna help with the Brussels sprouts in paradise.
Okay.
And why we call that sprouts in paradise is because you have a pepper here that's called grains of paradise.
Okay.
So we're gonna just break that up a little bit with the mortar and pestle. And we've already cleaned the Brussels sprouts, cut them in half, and taken the stem off.
And how do I know I'm breaking this up?
You see how it starts to turn white?
Oh,
I can smell it. That's
Yes.
how I can tell.
So
it smells like pepper.
you're actually cracking those, and that's like the king poo paw of peppercorns.
Wow.
Okay.
So rather than being the mill, she's doing it.
Right, right. Yeah, really, it's just, it keeps the freshness in it.
Give it a whack.
It's
This is
really
a lot
nice.
of work.
And you know what? That looks great, though,
Okay,
Beth. If
thank
you want to,
you.
you want to add that, and then we've got some olive oil there.
Okay.
And
the whole thing?
Yes, we'll do everything, and vinegar powder. So the vinegar powder, that is our honey granules. Sometimes you can use regular honey, but when you're roasting, the honey could really caramelize quickly and give it a bit of burnt taste. So the honey granules are a nice addition.
All the different things.
I hope I'm supposed to be putting the
You
whole
are.
thing.
And that's our bacon smoked sea salt. So you're going to toss that around, and then we're going to put it on the baking sheet.
So you're getting the flavor of the bacon, you're getting the flavor of the honey, but yet I didn't have to fry bacon. I'm not fighting with honey, which is hard to work with.
Right.
I love that you have all these different flavors.
Yep, a little bit of the garlic, and then the vinegar powder, you know, just gives it a little bit of that tart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Stephanie, you have our Woodsman's rice blend there that has rice, dried mushrooms, porcini, shiitake, and lentils. So you've put, and now if you want to go ahead and add the rice to the kale.
And again, this is a blend that we can get from you, so we don't have to make it all up, which I appreciate.
You're making this very easy.
Oh, good, good. That's the point, right? We want to enjoy Thanksgiving with our families.
Exactly.
Are we doing this right?
Yeah, it looks like you guys are.
It looks beautiful.
So they're topping with the
great.
breadcrumb-ish topping?
Yes.
Oh, yummy. Okay, and
So-
I'm tossing with the kale.
Yeah, and
Are
then
we going to cook
Stephanie,
it again?
Yes, that's going to go in the oven for
okay.
400 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, and then Stephanie, if you want to top that with a little bit of the Kahuna garlic salt.
Okay. That good?
Perfect. Yes, so we're going to put the mushrooms.
Toppled over.
Uh-oh, mushroom
Can you
down.
say
Mushroom
okay.
down.
It all tastes
This is why you end up with like
amazing.
half the amount because you eat all the ones that fall
Yeah.
over.
All right, I see goat cheese on top of this on a finished product. Do we add some goat? To this?
Yes, you can add some goat to that as well.
I'm just trying to get goat cheese
I saw
on
that.
everything.
I was like, she's gonna want that.
You can also use feta if you like.
Okay.
Feta's a nice, or even Parmesan, but I like these better with the
So we
with
didn't
the
dress
woodsy.
this. We're letting the flavors of the rice then work with the kale.
You could add some lemon juice if you like, but they're really nice, really easy to do. I mean, we try to make these spices and salts and blends to make your Thanksgiving nice and simple
to not
at
have to get
home.
out the 25 bottles and just get the flavors
Right.
from Spice and Tea Exchange. These are wonderful different side dishes that you'll be able to find the recipes for online. Great way to spice up your Thanksgiving or holiday meals as we go throughout the next few weeks. Thanks for being here, Paulette. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Nikki, always
Thank
good
you.
to have you here
Yes,
as well.
thank you.
Congratulations and best of luck with the wonderful Boys and Girls Club event.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a great night.
It is an absolute wonderful thing. So we are ready to dig in. Speaking of wonderful things, enjoy the rest of your day and take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view.
Thank you.